in the past year, particularly as we've been in quarantine and living in a lot of isolation, people's communities have migrated in many respects to social media, which is not the most effective forum or platform for respectful public discourse. It's really hard to find common humanity when we're just kind of all caps barbing each other, or posting memes telling each other to wake the fuck up, or whatever it happens to be. And so I think it's really important to figure out ways to reinstantiate like love into our common discourse. And I wonder what your strategies might be for that, and why you think that we tend to form groups of people that are in and out, and how you look at that.
Yeah, well, I think affiliation to any particular organization or network or nation or belief system is powerful medicine. And people like to be in the club. They like to be included. They like to feel that connection. And ultimately, there is love within these internal networks, these communities that exist. And there's also the people who are not welcome. And so this is my inherent issue with how we often frame love. We look at love as something that needs to be hoarded for our family and our intimates and maybe our friends. And it's reserved for those folks. And we're not able to recognize that the strangers also need love, or the humans on the other side of the planet also need love. And actually, this is kind of the sake of the question of our time, is how are we going to be able to break down the things that keep us in these tribal frameworks, whether they be nations or religions or institutions, and enable us to connect as human beings. And the way I look at this is twofold. I look at it from the micro level of human to human interaction and getting out of our comfort zone and into spaces where we are in the minority, or where we are engaging with people who aren't like us, who have different backgrounds and different lived experiences. And we show up curious and open-minded. As Valerie Kaur, the incredible Sikh leader and writer of the book See No Stranger, says, wonder. Wonder brings us back to love. And so showing up anywhere in the world with curiosity, open-mindedness, or wonder enables us to connect with people who are unlike us and actually create frameworks for love. Simultaneously, we need to recognize that this is a planetary concern. And when we start to break up into tribes, there is certain value and function in that breaking up, but there is also an inherent system that disconnects us from each other and that creates in-groups and out-groups. And so we need to be very aware of how we are disconnecting from certain groups when we create frameworks, when we create groups, when we organize, and thinking about how we can actually build inclusion in spaces where it's historically not a practice. And that goes for any ideology, right? You could be the most liberal, open-minded person, but you still are likely have people who you aren't comfortable with, or spaces where you're not going to go. And same goes for folks on other sides of the spectrum. And so I just think it's really important for us to be able to pause and recognize every single human on this planet is here because they are in search for love. And whether they express that search through the most toxic and detrimental practices, or they express that search through organization and celebration and connectivity, it doesn't quite matter. I think the recognition that we're all here for love and we're all thirsty to connect with love and be seen and be recognized and be accepted as we are, that recognition will carry us into a new way of being. And our affiliations won't be how we define ourselves. We will define ourselves based on our passions, based on how we celebrate our life. And the celebration of having breath, the fact that we have access to water, to clean air, to a place to live, to food, to healthcare, to the things that we need to thrive, enables us to connect as human beings. And if we don't have that access, it's on all of us to find ways to bring it to each other. And as we said earlier, to feed needs when we have access to them, and then to be able to articulate needs when we don't.
I'm Jeff Krasno, and welcome to Commune, where every week we explore the ideas, values, and practices that bring us together and help us live healthy and purpose-filled lives. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We hope you'll join us.